We need to go move on because several teams
really do
have new quarterbacks. I will not move on, but the show will move on. Several teams have new quarterbacks, including my Commanders with Mr. Carson Wentz. You already know, but there's a number of other teams that have picked up somebody
you'll have the
new.
rookie starting by week 3.
He will not. Problem. Carson's going to have a solid year. You better watch out
for
that. I know what he's going to do.
In what universe is Carson Wentz going to have a good year just because he switched teams?
Look, he was 27-7 last year. Let's not forget that. Okay, if we can just minimize the mistake, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah. So if we minimize the mistakes, we'll be fine. And we're in a terrible division. So.
Okay. I see now. Yeah. It's so much better because he's in a worse division, and Ron Rivera, the quarterback whisperer, is going to make sure that Mr. Wentz has everything he needs so that he's going to have this phenomenal year for the Washington Commandos.
I'm going to move on because when we meet y'all in Chicago, I don't want to hear all this talk back and forth because it's going to happen.
I'm not even worried about that. That's a W for us, but go ahead. We'll keep going.
We'll see. Speaking of people that got out of the Chicago pit, Mitchell Trubisky is in Pittsburgh now.
Oh, Mitch.
Matt Ryan, speaking of Indy, Matt Ryan is over with the Colts. Marcus Mariota with Atlanta. And as we do know, there was a major trade with Deshaun Watson. However, we will discuss kind of
more like highway robbery.
There's news, and we're starting to figure out what all that money is about to go to. But we will get into that in a little bit. Of these other guys, I do want to ask this question. You have the guys. I'm going to put it on the bottom so we can see it. Carson Wentz. Here we go. Yeah, Carson Wentz, Mr. Trubisky, Matt Ryan, Marcus Mariota, Deshaun. These guys have all gone to different teams. Nathan, I'm starting with you. Who do you think has the best chance of success?
Matt Ryan, easily.
Really?
Yes.
Carson is Matt Ryan, Carson.
You can stop there. That's wrong. No.
Mr. Trubisky. Marcus Mariota really has Kyle Pitts and a rookie. And Cordell Patterson.
Corduroy.
I don't know what the NFL is going to do about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, nobody does. Baker Mayfield for about 8 weeks.
I mean, I could pretty much see out of those guys, Carson and Matt.
Wow, really? I'm not sold. Matt Ryan, I'm 100% with you, Nate, because you've got the best running back in Jonathan Taylor. You got a decent backup in Nyheim Hines. The guy can catch the ball out of the backfield. You've got Pittman as a receiver there, and they picked up a couple other, I believe, another one or two other. I think just Matt Ryan has the best chance to succeed. He just didn't really have anything in Atlanta anymore. They never had a running back.
All that kind of money. What else? What can you do?
See, now you're not the big money guy. Yeah. The team's already built around you, which is how it was supposed to be for Carson. Which is why I say again, I know I dog him a lot, but I'm dogging him for a reason, man. Like his recent track record is just not good.
Let's look at the track record we're talking about. Everybody says yes, that Colts team is solid. Matt Ryan could definitely fill in and be better than what Carson Wentz was, but I don't necessarily think that Colts team had the weapons that maybe, especially a receiver that Washington has. We talk about Pittman. T.Y. Hilton didn't play half the year. Pascal was out. We didn't really know their receivers, and it was a running offense. So in my opinion, he's got a lot more toys to play with out here. Now, if we go back to his years in Philly after he came back from the injury, he wasn't the same, but that team wasn't the same.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? So I personally think, yes, I am optimistic. I am super optimistic. But I think that with the weapons that we have, if we can stay healthy, the team from last year, with it, I think Carson, I definitely think he's going to play a full 17. But I think that I do think he's going to play hurt, but I think he's going to play full 17. I don't think he's going to be as like 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but I think he's going to be maybe a 30-12. You know, maybe somebody that's go ahead.
But also to in defensive Carson, like you said, those last couple years in Philly, he's had nothing to work with. And let's also keep it real too. Last year, Indy, there were a lot of injuries they had as well. So you're already coming to a situation where you Indy kind of invested. They were like half in, half out. I mean, he's shown flashes of what he can be, but there were not enough weapons. I don't think you can win with just Michael Pittman, half a season with T.Y. Hilton, Jack Doyle. You're not going to win games with.
Well, he's not going to win games with those. He's not going to. That forces
he's not going to. Right.
That forces him to play hero ball. That is the flaw, and that is something I'm very scared of. And his health. Those two things are going to be things that are always going to be in the back of my mind. He plays hero ball way too much, throws left-handed, and does all this stupid stuff when he doesn't need to. And he sits there in the daggone pocket for 10 years because he wants the deep ball. Yes. Our line has not been proven to be the best, but we have made some solid additions this offseason. Again, this is OTAs.
And there you just what you just said. What did you just say?
What, this OTAs?
What did you just say? Your last sentence about your line and Carson Wentz.
What about his health?
No, about your line and Carson Wentz. What did you just say?
Oh, it's all. You're hoping that it works
right,
out.
Hoping because again, not proven.
That's all we're doing. But I get that. But that's all we're doing.
My point is, this is what again. I'm only explaining my part because I know you two don't agree with me. But I'm telling you, until I see Carson get out there and really start flinging the ball, staying in the pocket, doing whatever he does, because he's not running anywhere. So if you guys can protect for that 4 or 5 seconds, great. Carson may have a phenomenal year, but that's not proven either, and that's all I'm saying.
I don't mean to cut you off, but my question, but just a quick follow-up to that is, what is, are we talking about, are you going by what you saw the last couple of years of Philly last year?
Bro, how did you let the Jackson, and I know this is one game, but this is to my point. The biggest game, one of the biggest games of your career in the last few years, and you let the Jacksonville Jaguars just beat you like that?
So that's Matt Ryan's fault. I mean, that's Carson's fault that they
I'm
lost.
just saying, he's got to take some blame. Did you see the game he had? It wasn't good.
What about Jonathan Taylor? What about the defense? No,
I'm just simply saying, though, that's my point, Nate, is that you're the leader of the team.
I don't disagree with that.
On you. Huh?
I don't disagree with what you're saying, but the team as a whole collectively played like trash.
I'm not saying they didn't, but my point is it starts with the quarterback. All you had to do in that game was maybe complete another pass or two at critical moments, and the game could have swung the other way, is all I'm saying.
I don't disagree with that.
My point is he hasn't shown, just for me. Again, you guys, it's fine. But for me, I don't think he's proven that he's still here all the way back. And again, I'm not trying to make this a mental health thing, but I'm saying there's obviously something wrong with him in his head because he just doesn't seem to get out of his own head, listen to his interviews, listen to things he said. He just hasn't seemed that. I don't know if Nick Foles just taking his job and winning the Super Bowl just has never left him. But, I mean, something's there. And it didn't get better with his year in Indianapolis. And I'm only saying I don't know that Washington is going to be the cure for him. That's what I'm saying. I'm just looking for Carson to prove a little something. That's all.
I understand that.
Otherwise, until then, I don't trust him.
That's fair. I respect
get that. And there's no middle ground. There is either hero ball or he's playing pretty solid, making big plays. So I get that. And I too question it. All last year, I was the number one person attacking Carson. I never thought he was going to come to Washington. That's how Carson was.
Right. He's your quarterback now, so it's like, oh wow.
But one thing I will say, this is the most talent that he's had collectively on a team, especially on offense, that he's going to be able to play with.
I do like your weapons. I won't lie, I do, and I think, like I said, if you can get your line with that extra, instead of 2-3 seconds to hold for 4 or 5 seconds to give him that little extra time to get the open receiver, then yeah, you guys may have some great success.
You could,
but I'm waiting to see that. Let's put it that way.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, I mean,
except for week 6, we'll stomp you anyways.
You're gonna get crushed. Don't even start with that. Real quick, Daniel Jones or Carson Wentz?
You know
Carson Wentz.
Man, it's tough only because you wonder what Daniel Jones is gonna do. Is he just going to crap the bed again, or is he? I mean, is
I
this
want to say,
finally
who are
the
they
year where
playing?
well, I'm saying, is this finally the year that somehow New York stays healthy and tries to make a run at something, or does everything just fall apart again by week 3? You know what
And
I
then,
mean? Like,
and
this
they
is,
also had the benefit. Daniel Jones was not a first round pick. Let's get that out there.
When did he get? I thought he was a first rounder.
He shouldn't have been a first round.
Oh
I was
no!
gonna
Oh
say,
yeah,
I
he
thought
should
was,
not
right.
have been.
No,
Yeah,
he should not have been, but he was.
yeah.
You know, Mitch could have waited too, but he
Because
didn't.
we got him the year. We got him the year that, or they got him the year that we got the late Dwayne Haskins.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yes,
I
he
again,
was 6 overall.
So yeah, no, I knew he was the first, but it just like I said, every year you go, man, the Giants can't get any worse, can they? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every year you just go, if you can stay healthy, you might be able to put something together here. And then
But
by
they can
week
never
3,
stay
it's all
healthy.
out the window. Okay, you can never stay healthy.
It's all out the window.
But
So-
I guess to bite my own tongue, I'd probably have to go with Carson Wentz in that scenario because Daniel Jones has proved nothing either
Right.
in 3 years. I know they've had a lot of issues, but yeah.
I got to agree with you guys both. In that scenario, I definitely think that you have to go with Carson Wentz just because Daniel Jones has proved that obviously there's also injury problems, but he's had his main issue has been holding on to that ball.
Holding on to football,
And that's why I also said, who is he playing? Because if he's playing the Eagles, he seems to get it done. If he's playing us, he seems to have a favorable time against us. You know what I mean? But if he's playing most any other team in the NFL, it's like, nah, bro, I don't want that. But look, I noticed that there's there's 2 guys we haven't really mentioned, and that's your former quarterback, Mitch Trubisky, and Marcus Mariota. How are we looking at how we think that they'll perform?
Well, see, with Mitch, now that again, I'm not a Mitch hater. I know what Mitch dealt with in Chicago every week as I saw it. I heard it on radio. I watched every game. I heard the pre and post, I heard everything. And I just think, I'm not saying Mitch was going to be Mitch would have been comparable to Mahomes or Watson or any of these guys. But Mitch could have been and should be a serviceable quarterback. He has a live arm. He can move. In the right system, he could succeed. And here's the thing. Mike Tomlin is a guy who, as a coach, has all my respect. And he probably told Mitch, hey, look, man, here's the deal. We're going to bring you in here. We got you a 2-year deal. You're probably going to start, but we're drafting a quarterback. So show me what you got. I'll be fair to you. You be fair to me. And let's do this thing. Because I do think Mitch is going to start this year, no doubt. Oh, yeah. And it just depends on how he does, how quick you see Kenny Pickett. So, to me, Mitch is going to get handed the ball. I want to see him run with it. I would like to see Mitch succeed. I don't hate the kid. I think he actually could. He's got one of the top running backs in the NFL in Najee Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's got a couple of receivers there who have played in Pittsburgh for a few years, so they've got a grip of the offense at least.
They have fixed the offensive line,
right? Mm-hmm. And so Mitch is coming into a pretty decent situation.
Yeah.
So again, if he takes care of his part and does his part with what they have, it can be very successful for Pittsburgh. I think their defense has to be solid though, because they can't give up 30 points and expect Mitch to put up 30 feet. Right. So as a still defense needs to really do their job. But I think Mitch can put up, 25 a game. In that, something like that, 25.
Yeah.
So
we've already seen how that conference has just gotten better. If you play, we know everything with Deshaun, but if Deshaun does get on the field, obviously that's an upgrade in Cleveland. Right. That's an upgrade in Cleveland. And then you got a healthy Lamar. That's solid. That's an upgrade from all the injuries and everything. I mean, half the team was injured last year. They're coming back. And then Cincinnati obviously did what they did last year. So that he's going to need to do something more than just
for sure.
or
he'll be 0-6 in his division.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that
And
gets
then-
you nowhere, my friend.
Hey, well, right.
Siberia,
500 don't-
that gets
yeah.
you on the bench.
Get you that 17th or 18th pick.
right.
man's land.
Exactly. For real.
But also another one, Marcus Mariota. Nathan, you were talking about him, having Cordell Patterson and Kyle Pitts and now Drake London.
Drake
I mean, could he shock us? Could he do something?
I mean, he'll. I'll say. Look, I will say this. And you can put it that does not be crazy. I'll say Marcus Mariota throws 20 touchdowns.
Ooh.
20 touchdowns.
What?
Do you give it to Charles?
What?
I can see
That make me crazy.
I can look. I mean, what's his Calvin Ridley's not going to be there for the first 8 games. So
No, he's out.
Right.
He's out the year.
No, actually, I think Kevin's out the whole year, I think.
Yeah, he's out the whole year. He's suspended
He's
the whole year.
suspended for this year, yeah, for the bet.
okay, so I mean, I look at their receiving list. If your name, I mean, they have guys. Geronimo, Allison, Cameron Batson,
Yeah.
Frank Darby, Brian Edwards. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the identity of their offense is. So, and they're going to be rebuilding mode. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, the rebuild.
They are.
Who doesn't
And
love a good rebuild?
we'll see how they play out. Shout out to Kyle Yates and Anthony Handy, who said about 9-8, 8-9, maybe around that 500 a little bit.
Oh, sure.
I could see
You
it.
know,
I can see it.
The thing that
I
gets
think-
me about Mariota. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead. Nick.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I admitted this to you guys before. Coming out of Oregon, you thought, okay, here's a kid who might be NFL ready to come and play. I was excited at the prospect of maybe the Bears could find a way to get Mariota here in Chicago at the time. Because I thought, Cutler's not the answer. Let's, and I remember there was a couple scenarios that people were like, well, it could happen, blah, blah. And I got real excited. And then Mariota came into the league, and I got less excited. And it didn't, and I went, no, this is not what I was expecting. Because again, when you saw Marcus play at Oregon, blah, blah, blah. And it just, I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was injury, if it was just, the speed was a little too much for him, whatever it was that ended up happening. He just never rebounded. And so now is a chance for him to actually take over the reins of an offense and see. I mean, what is this, year 5 or 6 for him? Where we have a Marcus?
Same as Jameis, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Same as Jameis? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So that's what, 6, 7, wherever
I
that
think
is.
it's-
That's 6.
Six, I think,
Okay.
yeah.
So, I mean, now is the time for you, man. You've been handed a team
Yep.
that has offensive weapons. It does have some weapons. So, like you said, now is the time for Marcus to either make his statement or by the end of the year, he'll probably bow out gracefully. Because, I mean, again, what else is there? I mean, I'm just saying, quarterbacks don't last long anymore in the NFL, Nate. I mean,
No, I don't disagree
nature
with
of the
that.
beast.
I guess for me,
Nature of the
really
beast,
quick,
man.
I just think Marcus kind of dealt a bad hand. He
Well, he
came
might
into a
have been,
situation
but
because he was drafted to a team. I think that the Ken Wenthurst got fired like halfway through the season, and Mike Mularkey. So you're dealing with a coaching change already a rookie year, and then I think he was out by 17 or 18. So those Titan teams were not that good offensively.
Now they were playoff teams, though. I mean, let's not forget this is the only man that's thrown and caught his only a catch,
right,
a touchdown in the playoff game.
Playoff game.
They-
Man.
The 2017, was that 17?
Probably.
That was, he was there from 2015 to 2019.
Okay.
No, the one where he threw the pass to himself. That was
That
against the Chiefs,
2016.
right?
Yeah, that was against the Chiefs. Yeah, the 2016 or 2017.
Whichever.
Okay.
And he got over 3,000 yards in both 2016, 2017, including a 26-9 touchdowns to interceptions ratio. Look, I too was on that whole, expecting so much from Marcus Mariota. I remember him playing for Oregon and getting as far as they did and doing as great as, and I too was like you. I wanted him in Washington. I wanted a way to figure out, a way to get him. He has disappointed. And teams maybe haven't found the way to kind of get his skill set into the offense where it's not necessarily Lamar, and it's not necessarily, Russell. They're trying to figure him out. And then when you've been on the shelf in Las Vegas behind Derek Carr, where you're not getting any PT, you know what I mean? And when you do get in, you don't really shock the world. So
no, you're not doing that.
That's true.
I'm glad he's getting this opportunity in Atlanta, and I think this might be a perfect fit.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I want to see him succeed. I just think how big of a leash does he have now?
Yeah,
given time in the league,
know.
given the situation, because Atlanta's like we're building for the future. So and again, when you pick up a receiver like Drake London, you're serious. What I'm saying? You're picking up a big talent here, and you're trusting him to Mariota. So
right. Well, let's not forget. They also got the insurance policy.
I know who. Yes,
Mr.
they
Desmond Ridder.
Ritter, I know. Mr. Cincinnati, we know. Yes, but again,
we'll see.
Is Ritter NFL ready?
Question. I mean, you can make a case. We'll visit that subject another.
Right, we'll talk another time, Mr. Nate. Another time, right?
No, but look, one of the things that's really key about these guys is that it's very important that they go to OTAs, and we're going to discuss this as in the overall view of quarterbacks and players going to OTAs. But for these guys in particular, you got guys that were playing in another team, sometimes in another conference last year. Now they're coming in. How important is it for these guys to go to OTAs this year?
Nate, you want to tackle that first, or you want?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I think we have to define what the OTAs are. I always look at OTAs as the first day of school, mini camp.
Right.
Let me just say this. I believe that showing up is important, but the way they have labeled it voluntary,
right?
I think that muddies the water. Well, it's always important for the rookies to be there, but it's also important for some vets to be there to show some leadership and mentor some young guys. If you're new to a team, OTAs is more for rookies and guys that are trying to make the team. Now, for me, I do think it gets annoying to hear when you don't hear a certain player that's in OTAs because either they're holding on a contract or they just don't want to be there. Especially like the first week. Like I've seen that happen the last few years.
Very true.
I've seen it with I go down the list.
But now focusing on these guys, focusing on these quarterbacks that have been traded to new teams.
It's important because you want to build that camaraderie, you want to build that chemistry, which I'm already sure they've done before OTAs. Texting, hey, when can we get out on the practice field together? Let's meet over dinner. I'm pretty sure they've already done that, but I think it's important to really develop that rapport, that relationship with your receivers. Like, hey, where do you like the ball to be thrown? Hey, what's your go-to route? Do you have a signal call? I think building that relationship, especially you get to know the young guys, you get to know a little more of the system, and even get into the ear of some of the vets that have been there. Hey, what's the culture like? What's the team like?
Yes,
different things like that.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I agree, and that's the thing that I agree that I think it is very important for especially these guys to come. You know what I mean? I was about to say.
I was experimenting with light because I didn't turn my light off when we started. I didn't want to kind of take time to do it.
Nick just turned angelic, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
He just turned angelic.
Don't mind me. All right. We'll leave that for now. You can still see me. We're good.
So, but I mean, and I want you to answer that question about these guys that have just gone to a new team, but kind of answering Nathan's thing about isn't overblown?
See, I
like
don't
altogether.
know. OTA stand for organized team activities, and if you're joining a new team, especially, you should be there.
Right.
This is a new team. All the new rooks are going to be there. All the new signees will probably be, you know what I'm saying? Especially as a quarterback, you're a new team and you're going to be the new leader. you absolutely should be at OTAs. That's me. I think it shows that, hey, I'm here for you guys. Let's do this. We're the team. We're going to get this done, blah, 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 whatever that says.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you have to be able to, I think it is an important thing. And I know some people blow it off like, oh, well, veterans, they've done this 100 times, whatever. Yeah, okay, that's probably true. And then we all know that superstars get exemptions for all kinds of things. So again, that's fine. I'm not that person or that team. So whatever you want your star player to do is fine by me. But I do think they're important. And I do think they can go a long way, especially with new quarterbacks and their new teams, to be there when everybody's there. Like you said, when they first get there, like you said, it's like the first day of school. Well, you meet everybody the first day of school, right? Meet all your teachers, you meet your counselor, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Here's everybody. Meet your new coach, meet your new this, that, whatever. So, yeah, I think it's very important. I do.
Yeah, I agree. But
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.